Zuidas?
Ja. Zuidas.
What?
Zuidas.
Zuidas? Zuidas?
Zuidas.
Zuidas. Zuidas? Zuidas?
Zuidas.
Zout? Zout? Hey guys, it's Summer Rayne from Homestead, Brooklyn, and I'm here in the Netherlands at the Botanical Gardens of Zuidas. Now, this is one of the more under radar collections, but I have to say, it is phenomenal. They have an incredible cacti collection, one of the best I've ever seen. It's about 40,000 specimens. So welcome to this week's episode of Plant One On Me, Field Trip Edition.
My name is Maarten van Bodegraven. I'm a volunteer at this garden. This garden is about 50 years old, and the last 20 years or so I'm a volunteer in this garden, and I mostly do work behind the scenes, work with artists or work with people, do guided tours and give lectures. That's mainly my work here.
So for the last 20 years, what brought you into this garden in particular?
Ooh. That's basically orchids. That's my lust for life, orchids.
And then, so I'm assuming then it has a little bit of an orchid collection here as well.
It had.
Yeah.
It doesn't anymore.
Doesn't anymore.
No,
okay.
no,
but you're still volunteering here.
I'm still volunteering here, but that's mainly because I like to do the lectures and work with artists, and that's mainly the work I like nowadays.
This garden, I have heard, it used to be part of the university, but it's not part of the university any longer.
No. This garden is struggling, was struggling from the 1980s or something like that. The university wanted it away, wanted it gone, but we managed to keep it, and actually the university is still funding it. So there is some way of cooperation with the university. But it's not the property of the university anymore, because in the Netherlands you have the collection of plants from the Netherlands itself. It's a national collection, and actually we're standing now in one part of the national collection of the Cacti Collection.
And what you told me here just off the interview is a little unbelievable to me. You said there's 40,000 cacti within this one greenhouse facility.
Yeah.
I mean, it is crammed tight. We're going to see a little tour of this very soon, but
yes, that's yeah. The vision of the former manager was that he wanted to collect as many plants as he could.
As we all do.
As we all do, and he got a little bit overboard with it.
Yeah.
So this is one part of the collection we have, and we also have the AID, the IVD, and those were the plants that were how do you call it? You have this border control, and people who went to Mexico smuggled plants in, and the border control confiscated those plants, and some of our collection are confiscated plants.
One of the things in my mind was like, oh, when people confiscate plants, they destroy them, but what they really do is they actually give them to Botanic Gardens.
Nowadays, I won't know. I don't know, but then the plants came here.
So you probably have some really interesting varieties.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. We can show some varieties when we do the tour.
So if somebody wants to actually come here and visit this greenhouse as well as some of the others that are around here, where can they go to contact you?
Mainly you can go to our website. It's www.botanischetuinzuidas.nl, and there you can ask for a guided tour.
Well, we'll see some really interesting varieties. They're going to have you take us through a cacti tour, some of your clivias, I heard are really great, your bromeliads and other succulents as well. So thank you so much. I mean, this is just so phenomenal to see. And like I said, I'm just like salivating over everything that you have here. It's unbelievable. But we have to watch where we step when we're actually taking this tour, because there's a lot of cacti sticking out.
They can bite.
It's very organized, however. I have to tip my hat to you, because it's highly organized and very easy to see everything.
We have 4 people working here, and in this greenhouse there's one person is in particular, that's Dennis, and he works here 4 days a week. He's basically doing it all on his own.
Wow.
Sometimes some volunteers help, but this is all credited to Dennis.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, Dennis, wherever you are. We'll have to see you in the spring and summer when we're back next. But this is perfect. So let's do a tour. So what are the first cacti that you want to show us here?
First, I wanna show you the how do you call it? The hairy man?
We call it the old man cacti.
Old
yeah,
man
or the
cacti.
Peruvian old man.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
In
I didn't know the
English, it's
name.
very different from the Dutch,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. To me, they are interesting because they originally come from an area like the desert, of course, but a coastal desert, and where there's no water whatsoever, and they get their water from the sea winds that drips down the hairs down to the base. So that's how they get their water. So it's a very interesting story.
It's almost like a some of the telangias that have like the trichomes.
Yeah.
They take some of the fog or the
Yeah.
cloud cover, and they kind of take it into their into their system. Although these have to push it down into their roots.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. So I'm assuming the ones that have like the hairier look might be in areas where it's even more extreme.
Yeah, yeah, especially extreme in those areas, and they're adapted to those areas because of the hairs, of course, and yeah, that's very interesting how plants adapt to those areas.
Yeah, and it looks like you have. I mean, at first glance, it all kind of looks like the same plant, but you have many different species here.
Yes, we have, yes. And during the years we built this collection, we just cramped for space and we put them together. And it's quite a work to have them reported every 2 or 3 years or so. This one is actually going to be a project for this year.
Wow.
That's going to be recorded. Over there you see an area that's less crowded,
Yeah.
because they're being reported not as we speak, but
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
And a few years ago you have this like waves of cacti here, and then it's more like a cacti structure than you can't see the cacti from the cactus.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and I do not envy the man who has to, Dennis probably who it is. I do not envy Dennis for having to navigate through this, but I'm sure he'll do a fine job if he's been doing this for the last number of years. So what's next on the list of that you want to show?
We're gonna walk a bit over here. On your right, we have the more African species.
The Dioscorias, I think they are. Yeah, Dioscorias.
Yeah.
These are really impressive.
Yeah.
I have a couple at my house, and I really like the Caudex plants. They do really.
Yeah, we have
quite
several
striking.
Caudex plants in our collection. Most of them are here, but we have a very old specimen in our other greenhouse. I will show you that.
Oh, perfect. Look at these. Some of these are just like tipped over.
Yes, they are.
They get so heavy, I would imagine, so top heavy.
He's just rebuilt the collection.
Yeah.
And it's more organized over here.
Yeah, very organized. I mean, honestly, I'm so impressed with the amount of plants that you're able to fit into this one space. It's really, it makes me like rethink my home even. I'm just like, how many can I fit? You get that plant hoarding mentality.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers.
Yes. This looks like a mimosa, but it's not, is it?
No, it's an acacia species.
It's acacia, okay.
It can actually withstand a little bit of cold, but it's too young to be outside. This is our aloe collection. It's actually been reported 2 years ago, but now there aren't that many in bloom. So sometimes you see an aloe and you say, "Oh, what am I looking at?"
Yeah.
But I think it's a very attractive plant because of the medicinal use, of course, but also the flower spikes are very beautiful. Some of them can grow really large flower spikes, and the colors are very
vibrant.
Very vibrant
colors. I'm always so shocked when my aloes bloom, and I'm just like, oh, so beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think that's characteristic of a lot of like cacti and similar species, they have such impressive,
Yes, they do,
colorful
yeah.
flowers.
Yeah.
And these are also interesting because you have a lot of like toothy aloes as well.
Yeah.
They almost look a little bit like Medusa, like a little bit like snake-like,
Yes,
especially
yeah.
these growing semi-wild in a way. Have you ever gotten any kind of mealy bugs or anything here? Because I would imagine you have so many different varieties crammed in one place.
We do a lot of actually Hans does it. We have a license to fumigate, of course.
Okay.
We are experimenting with biological warfare.
Yeah,
on-
biological
on-
control with insects.
thank you,
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
But most because the plants are so cramped and it's very difficult. So most of the times we do have to use.
Something to just fumigate the
Yeah.
whole space. Yeah, because I could only imagine. I mean, one of the things that I do like about biological control is that sometimes the insects could find different places that you couldn't find before. But in this case, you know, there's just so many of them,
Yeah.
and you would hate to have like one contaminate the rest, you know, because you have such an incredible collection
Yeah.
here. Well, this is marvelous. This is one I've never seen before. It's stunning.
Let's have a look at the name.
If we could get to it.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see.
Some of them are also new for me. So.
Erinacea, Aloe Erinacea.
All right.
Yeah, that's a new one for me. I mean, a lot of these are going to be new for me. I can't even imagine trying to remember. But all these things you had mentioned are online. You're starting to put all these digitally.
Yeah, we are doing our collection online. Over 40 to 50% of our collection is already online, and we're doing the last part of it. We started 2 weeks ago for the last part to do it. To have them online.
And you can find this on your website, or where do you actually go to find those?
No, it's not. We will have a link on our website. It's not on our website itself because it's a very large database. It's actually on a national collection website. So we're in Europe. You have these botanical gardens, also in America, I think, and they're connected to each other by.
Like a world plant list or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Great. Well, what's next on the list that you'd love to show us?
Yeah, I would love to show you the.
Here we are.
Yeah.
The Euphorbia,
Yeah,
right
the
behind
Euphorbia.
us.
We have very special Euphorbias. The candle Euphorbia. This one is actually a red list species. We also have some other red list species of Euphorbia. It's a very rare plant.
So
Some
red
of the
list
species.
red list for I think some of the folks who might not know is that whether they're endangered or threatened, and in many cases so many of our plants are endangered or threatened. So you have some of those varieties here.
Yes, we have. Yeah, and in comparisons to other cacti, an Euphorbia doesn't have a crown-like thorns. And most of the Euphorbias also have leaves.
Right.
And that's
I
the
guess
difference between a real cacti.
Right, exactly, a cacti and a Euphorbia. And it's amazing to see, because most of Euphorbia, from my knowledge, are from Madagascar area? Or
Yeah, Madagascar, Eastern Africa, areas like that.
It's just amazing. You were talking about the, the old man cacti and how they developed like these hairs similar to a telangia with the trichomes in order to be able to capture the water. And here, Euphorbia, which are not cacti, have developed very similar kind of principles in order to be able to protect themselves as well.
Yeah.
This one's pretty interesting too. It has all these like kind of, this kind of spots on it as well. Yeah. Chances are we're not going to be able to get to see what kind of Euphorbia that is, but this is a really impressive collection as well.
No, I can't reach it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I wouldn't. So one of the things about Euphorbia that is that it has that kind of toxic,
that's
white
a milky substance.
Yes, that latexy substance that you do not want to get in your eyes, folks. So if you're actually propagating your Euphorbia or you have that around your animals, it's not something that you want to engage with too much.
And actually, when Dennis is here, he always tells a story that you shouldn't get it in your eyes, but he once got it in his eyes because he was cutting Euphorbia, and the latex substance just splashed in his eyes or something like that. So he went up to the emergency.
Good thing that the University Medical Center is right here.
Yeah, it's actually less than 500 meters away.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
very yeah.
Should we work our way around?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah. Also, this is Euphorbia.
Oh, this is the pencil. I think
Yeah.
they sometimes call it pencil cactus or
Yeah.
whatever.
And there you can see the variety and the differences between
Yeah.
one family.
Yeah. And these are all crown of thorn euphorbias.
Yes.
Look at
Christ,
Christ crown or Christ crown.
yeah.
Yeah.
And here we have
Wow.
one from Madagascar, Aluria.
Oh, it's stunning.
And he's in rest at the moment.
Right. So some of them
Normally,
go in
you have his
dormancy.
leaves also, but this isn't the this isn't one within the family of Euphorbia. This is standing on itself. Also very endangered.
Is it part of the Dideriaceae? Do you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Because
you're
that's as it's like it's as if cacti and euphorbia got together and
Yeah,
created that family.
And the strange thing about this, if you look at these spikes,
Yeah.
you have these lemurs on Madagascar, and the lemurs are swinging from tree to tree and just grab a hold of this.
Oh
at
my
this tree.
gosh, that is unbelievable.
And they're not bothered.
Right.
You know, some beautiful versions of Euphorbia.
These are all euphorbia. This is, I think the Medusa or I think they're called Medusa crowns or whatever. So maybe if you could get some of these varieties, guys, on the way down.
Yeah.
It smells like a skunk around here. Is there something that has like a
probably up here.
a flower that smells
Yeah.
like a skunk? Unbelievable, like this mercaptan smell.
I'm looking for it, but it can also be down here.
I wonder if it's this. Yeah, I smelled it like right around here.
It's yeah, you're right. But it can also be over there, because there we have some species that are.
Oh yeah.
How do you call it in?
You have tiger jaws. I think they're called Fulcarias. Those ones? Those
Yeah.
ones up there? Fulcarias? It looks like a lot of them had bloomed already.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I see. Yeah. This one is from Liliaceae, Haworthia.
Haworthias,
We
yeah.
have a lot of those. Also African species. Crassula,
Oh yeah.
very beautiful species.
I love crassulas. They're next to the caluncoes. I think they're some of my favorite.
Yeah. And this one is especially, I like this one especially because of the dark crimson red flowers. We also sell some plants. That's why you see these how do you call it?
Yeah, little plant tags.
Yeah, plant tag. Thank you. And most of the times we sell them when we have surplus in our collection, and we sell them.
And do you really want within your collection, since you have so many, do you have like maybe one or a couple species, or are you trying to get multiples of the same species?
Basically, if you look at the rules about collection, you must have especially three plants of the same collection.
Okay.
But we're not doing that.
You're not equipped to have that many.
Wild.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine
yeah.
trying to count each one.
Yeah.
Wow. And so these are your lithops.
Yeah. We're starting here with the lithops, and in Dutch you call it vensterplantje.
They're also called living stones. At least that's what I know. I mean,
Yeah.
in English.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about what makes them special?
I can show you. Let's have a look at a nice specimen. In Dutch you call it vensterplanten because you have this window, like window sills.
But you could see the windows here, I think, a little bit, no?
Yeah, a little bit. But there are some species you can see it even better, and especially with this light, you can see it over here.
Yes.
They're more like a transparent green, and that's why they're called vensterplantje in Dutch. The light is coming through because in the wild you hardly can't see them. and the only thing that's above, that's the upper side of the plant. So that's.
So they basically, so some of the green parts, as I understand, are kind of underground.
Yeah.
And so they're actually taking in some of the light through those windows in order to be able to diffuse the light into the appropriate places where they could then produce chlorophyll and actually feed themselves.
Very good explanation, thank you.
Yeah, I think these are really, fascinating plants, especially because, they have their camouflage.
Yeah.
So they're not being chewed upon by herbivores or anything along those lines.
Most of the time they just walk past them. In October we have a spring-like field because all the flowers are up in October, October, November, and you have all these colors. This one is, I don't know why it's blooming right now. It's probably a species that's a bit off. But you have this orange, red-like, yellow-like flowers, and it's a welcome sight because now you see all these tags. But that's a botanical garden.
Yes, no, but it's good to have the tags because then you're definitely going to forget what they actually are.
Yes.
So do these ever hybridize, considering that they're so close together, or how do you?
When they hybridize, we sell them.
Oh wow! Okay. So these are some of the ones that have been hybridized.
Yes. And that's we put them in a tray like this.
And you give them a number.
Yes, we give them a number and then we'll sell them.
They're really adorable. I mean, I think South Africa, some of them are called kitten's paws in Afrikaans, so might be, which they do. They kind of look like little kitten paws.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, this has been marvelous. We're going to go to some of the other greenhouses, but I think we could wrap it up here. Hey guys, so I hope you really enjoyed that tour here at the Botanic Gardens. And of course, if you like these episodes, don't forget to subscribe on the channel here. And you can follow along on my journey at my website at homesteadbrooklyn.com and on my Instagram at homesteadbrooklyn. Bye. This is going to be in the bloopers at the end.